Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. This is Crisis 169 Mark, aka Mark, coming to you live. Sorry, I had technical difficulty with my microphone. It wasn't connected properly, so it would not work. Still, power of YouTube, though, how YouTube works sometimes. But we'll get over it. We'll get over it. We'll be good with it. We'll take care of it and get this cheers then on the way, shall we? Now, today's video is part two of what I talked about yesterday, the end of the year in review 2024 games, GPU, YouTubers, all that stuff though. Part two. First topic of today's list is going to be the games. And when I mean games, I don't mean little bad games came out. There's some bad games that came out, some glitches came out 2024, 2023, 2024. Requiem was a good game. Last of Us Part 1 came out a year before, 2 years ago, years before ago. I still had issues with the with the optimization of our graphics cards. I know a lot of people had issues with some 40 series cards working with that game, and even 30 series cards, like myself included. 30 series card having trouble with the lower VRAM usage, and that played a hell of a role with a lot of those games not being optimized. That and also the Hogwarts Legacy was actually having problems too, bad problems, so bad that the game was actually, I do believe both games were pulled for a while before they actually fixed them. Helldivers 2 is another example, and this game was a cluster F because of Sony. And this is a year review of 2024. This game came out right around 2024, 2023, probably end 2023 or 2024. The game announced in 2024. It's supposed to come out a little earlier, but didn't. The good thing it didn't, but then again, there still has bugs in it. To this day, it still has bugs, but the game is still kicking you back to your ship. It's still happening. It's one of those things. If you see the bugs crawling, like and doing the moonwalking, and they're standing still, just go ahead and back out because the game's gonna crash anyway. It's gonna, and it's better to go ahead and do that. It sucks, but it does that. Now your whole squad doesn't just leave you, and you're still talking to them, even though you've been kicked. But in your game, they've been kicked. It's just a gigantic mess. That doesn't happen as much. But Helldivers 2 still has issues, but not as bad as it was. Okay, what other games we have problems with today? Um, oh yeah, the Apex Legend issue happened. They had the problem with the Apex Legends, the glitches they had. Call of Duty Black Ops 6 came out, and the cheaters are literally up in front just cheating, and Activision doesn't care. Microsoft doesn't care. Oh yeah, um, Microsoft did 100% buy 100% Activision, and it happened around 2024. Started 2 years earlier, but finally became concrete around 2020 in 2023 and 2024. So now Activision is under the umbrella of Microsoft. We still don't know where Xbox is going to be at. With the whole next year coming up, we don't know if they're going to be making another console or just make a digital set top box. Here you go, kids, have fun with it, and just go off, you know, counting their money. That's fine either way. If you support that, hey, it's fine. We also talked to discuss the really big censorship of big ownership of games. We don't own games anymore. We own license agreements. That's been out there pretty strongly out there. Um, it's been difficult. It's been rough, but it's one of those things. You know, it's something that we have to understand and deal with. And I think that that's something right there, needs to be addressed. And I think that um, that right there is, you know, is something that we have to understand. That I think people need to really understand about this situation and get and really start taking it seriously. That we can sit there all we want and talk about how we as gamers understand this. We don't understand this. But because right now with the graphics card issues happening, with the PS5 Pro being hard to find for a while there, and with the PS5 Pro coming out, and I'm gonna add that here real quick. Sorry. Um, um, Xbox issues, and with PS5 issue Pro, PS5 Pro issue being pretty much a issue with you pretty much have to paying $700 for a digital console. I saw it at Walmart, $700 at Walmart. It's like $699. Granted, it's a powerful beast machine, but so is my gaming rig, and I ain't pay 7,000. I ain't pay $700 for it. I paid $1,700 for it. It's really $1,500, but graphics card prices a little higher because during that scalper time. So I paid a little more money than I should have, but I got 3070 instead. Works even better. Um, that being said, though, the PS5 Pro to me a little overpriced, and this has come from a guy who has a $3,000 game rig. Yes, I know. I know I have a $3,000 game rig. I gotta be told. I get told that. I know. In all, I spent about 3 grand in this rig with the RAM and the processor and the liquid cooling. It costs a lot of money. But I also understand that consoles are getting just expensive as PCs right now. You could buy a PC for $700, and you could build a one that's comparable to the PS5 Pro or even better. You can get probably a 3080 or 3070 Ti, at least whatever, probably 3080 for a decent price if you don't mind, getting a used one and building probably an AM4, maybe even AM5 around it, and have one to have something you can upgrade later on. So a lot of people are going. That's why you see people going to the PC. Yes, people are going to buy the People are going to buy the PlayStation and Xboxes, of course. I said for this last summer, this summer that we had, I said point blank that we're going to have a real weird situation when it comes uh, to PC gaming because it's going to happen where we're going to be having a lot more than just trends when it comes to people buying the PC graphics and gaming and whatnot. I believe we're going to have a lot more than what we think we're going to have. I, th- I know I'm convinced that we're going to have a lot more issues happening with the graphics, with the PlayStations, with the Xboxes, that they're going to be even more expensive because, folks, those costs have to go somewhere. Okay, you don't build a $700 system with all that power and just don't pass the cost on somebody. I believe someone paid a pickle man, and that's how it goes. And that's what it is. If you want a $700 console, then spend $80 on a hard drive or a disk drive, and no $30 on a stand. You just spent over $800 on a console, just for add-ons that were pretty much included in every PC, or I mean included in every game console for the last 15 years. Now I didn't remember PS3 costing 700, $600 because you had to go buy no, he had to go buy an extra drive for it. It didn't happen, folks. So I think people just need to start waking up to this and realizing what this means. As consumers, we have to start understanding this. These consoles, guys, are only going to get more expensive as this year goes into next year goes into next year, and year after that, year after that, year after that. These consoles, are not going to be cheap, and the games ain't cheap either. The games are no more than just license agreements now. And even in say California has told Steam they have to say that practically. Now we're not buying games now. You're buying license agreements. Well, I bought a physical copy of Helldivers 2. Yeah, but your game is 99. Your game is 100% online. All that disc does is activate the game code that's inside there to turn the game on to allow you to play it, the server. You don't get to keep the game itself. That that that's over in Timbuktu somewhere. When the server goes offline, BAF 2042, uh, Call of Duty, Call of Duty Black Ops 3, all these online games, Helldivers 2, a lot of these games become glorified coasters to you. So you don't have to have a digital game to take part in this license agreement. If your game requires online play, I heard Black Ops 6 required online play, even online connection, even though it's a single player game, you can play single player because they're required to check in with the game to make sure your game can run it. I guarantee you, I want anybody who has an Xbox, and especially an Xbox or PS5 or whatever you guys have, Xbox, whatever, Xbox, whatever. Not Game Pass, it's digital, but I mean the Xbox X Series, or PS5 Pro, even with digital, no, even with the disk drive. Unplug your internet connection, put the game in, and see if it lets you do campaign. I'm about ready to wager money that eventually you won't be able to play campaign without having an online connection because it has to have make sure make sure you license agreement the game. This is how they got around all this nonsense with the DRM crap. They made every game online compatible. You have to have it online, even if the game is a physical game, like PlayStation Network. I bought a Spider-Man game. Okay, it's digital, whatever. Now I'm gonna buy God of War Ragnarok. It's a single player game, digital. I have to have a license agreement with Sony, account with Sony to play that game. Does it bother me? Of course not. You know why? Because I already have a PlayStation account. But if you don't have a PlayStation account or don't want to get one, you can go out and go buy a PlayStation 5, spend all that money on PS5 Pro, and play it, or click keys in your mouth and have another app you have to open, or launcher you have to do. That right there, folks, is kind of making me wonder if if physical games are just as worth the problem as what's supposed to be. This whole year we've been seeing it since January till now, December. We have seen the game companies try every trick in the book they can, every trick in the book to get us to be online constantly. All happened way back on 360 and the PS3 era, where games required us to download them, especially on a PlayStation side. But even on the Xbox side, you had to be online all the time to check stuff. And even at the Xbox One was even worse. PS3 wasn't too bad, PS4 wasn't too bad, but it became pretty ahead on PS5 and Xbox X Series. I didn't say the Pro, I didn't say digitals, because both of them are, that's online anyway. That's all digital anyway. I give them a pass; they don't count in this argument. I'm talking about physical, actual games. We now have to have a physical, actual situation now where everything is online, regardless if it is a digital game playing or a physical game, story based only or online mixed with story based campaign. Everything that nowadays is literally online, and it doesn't matter if you bought the game or not, 100%, or if you got it from a friend or whatever. Doesn't matter anymore. if you don't have an internet connection, with a lot of these games you can't play them. Obviously, Helldivers, Battlefield 2042, and the Black Ops 3, and so on, so on. But it's understandable. If you have a base campaign game mixed in with, say, Call of Duty, Black Ops 6, I want to have a test done. I want people who have the physical game. If you're on my page and if you're on my channel and you play Call of Duty a lot on your Xbox or even PlayStation, unplug your PlayStation Ethernet cable, turn off your Wi-Fi, and see if the game will at least allow you to play the campaign. I'm almost I'm almost ready to wager money that eventually even single player games are not are not going to be immune to the online always online um, figurehead, because right now we're heading that way, folks. Now it's almost 15 minutes long, so the GPUs we got done with PS5 Pros, Xbox. That's my Xbox issue games. GPUs. The GPU graphic cards have come out 2024, 2023. The 4090 is number one, 7900 XT is number two, 4070 Ti Super is number three, 4070 Super is number four, 7800 number five, and 700 XT is number six. Um, all your graphics cards here have things in common. They're pretty much overpriced. A lot of them are pretty much overpriced a lot. And most of them are going to be your uh, NVIDIA cards, overpriced. Um, and that right there kind of bugs people, the wrong way, because it rubs people the wrong way, making it that you have to have the game, you have to have this kind of money to spend this kind of money in a game. And I've been saying this a long time. PC gaming is a luxury. It's not a rite of passage. Well, it kind of is somewhat, but it's a luxury because it's more of a luxury niche. And with the PlayStation and Xbox costing just as much as the graphics cards these days, or even more so, it's getting harder and harder to recommend a console over a game, over a graphics card or gaming rig. But right now, we're spending $2,000 just on a graphics card, 4090, for example. It's kind of hard to say, "Hey, I'm saving money. I'm more powerful in 4090." Of course, you are. He got 20 something gigabyte, whatever VRAM, and then you can play games at only 8K practically. But you spent like 4 months of rent or in this case, a month of rent just to make that happen. So the graphics card issues I think is really interesting and really problematic, and we're gonna have more problems going in 2025. Nvidia has not given any word that they give two drops of piss about us. They're gonna keep on cranking out the expensive cards and making us pay more money and giving us a little upgraded VRAM along the way because they don't care, because they know the million people out there who just rubbing themselves with the graphics card they have in Nvidia, rubbing all of themselves, every night with it, are the same freaks out there causing all this. Well, I can keep saying, people, when you keep going, when you keep rolling over and playing dead for these companies, all you're doing is just giving them more and more carte blanche to do whatever they want. So keep on rolling over, keep on bending over, and they'll take every nickel out of you. You let them, and they'll give you a small upgraded VRAM along the way. I say it before, I say it again. The 3060 should have been 8. The Ti should have been at least probably made 10. 3070 should have been probably 12. 36 to the 370 Ti could have been maybe 14 if you want to be a little difficult. 3080 should have been 16 and maybe even 18. Then 3090 can be 20 or whatever. I say that all the time, but Nvidia doesn't care what I have to say because they don't care. They know we're going to run out and buy these cards. They know we're going to run out and buy this stuff. They don't care what we do. So going in next year, the 5000 series coming out is going to be pretty much a deal breaker for me. if I stay with NVIDIA or go AMD. Because right now I'm getting really tired of having a good card, but I keep just deciding just to play a game because it's like VRAM, 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 VRAM. Like, really? Can't. I really want to enjoy this game without having to play it on on Atari mode because with no pixelated boxes and crap. Well, I really want to enjoy this game, NVIDIA. Why don't you give us more VRAM or something? Instead of just give us a good card and up the price to like $1,000 for that. Oh, and you want the VRAM? Well, screw you. It's gonna cost you 2 grand. And I get it. Stuff costs money to make. Yes, but this is I think the first time Nvidia has been bent us over like this. Ain't the first time at all. And this is why I think it's time for us to revolt against Nvidia. And also Intel too against a little bit too as well, Intel, because their CPUs were bad this year. 13, 14 gen had a lot of fail rate issues, a lot of problems. A lot of people got burned, and these BIOS updates came out too little too late for a lot of people who lost their PCs because their CPU just fried. And NVIDIA, and Intel was just dragging their feet, taking their time, not really rushing out there until they start seeing their stock plummet and seeing the graphics card plummet too as well. And new Intel Arc cards are coming out this year, a little bit more next year, right around this year, next year time, and it's gonna be rough because Intel said their cards are not gonna be high class printed cards. They'll be probably 1080p, probably 1080p for the high settings for the budget gamer, maybe 2K high settings, maybe ultra, whatever, for your little more, modern gamer who wants to spend a lot of money. And that's fine. But once again, NVIDIA, and NVIDIA, once again, Intel is following the playbook of NVIDIA by giving us little goodies, but turning around and wanting more for it. Now, granted, the cards don't look that more expensive, but if it's only 100, 200, $300, then what the hell's in the damn thing? Did you shake around here screws and damn pins in there? Or is that actually a graphics card in there working? You have to understand this kind of stuff. If you have an art card, please let me know down below how you like it. Because I'm shopping around for a different, card to look for. I was going to go through getting rid of all my drivers from NVIDIA and putting them on there AMD, which should be hard to do at all. But shouldn't be hard to do at all, actually. Should be pretty good, actually, to do. But I think that if we look at things differently, the more remain the same. And with the processor issue, even with AMD last year and going this year, early this year, had issues with their 9,000, 8,000 series processors were having trouble. I still love my 5800X 3D, and that's being discontinued, being phased out. It's just why you can't find it anywhere. Something that may be on Newegg or Amazon, if you can find it. We'll type in Amazon real quick, guys. See if they have it or not. Still, just making sure. I don't want to give you guys wrong information if you're looking for that kind of processor. Yeah, sorry. 5800X3D is not being shown on here. Not even on Amazon right now. Type in Newegg real quick here. I'm trying to see if this will have it. So if you guys are wondering about it, you guys can go after it if you guys are wondering about it. Yeah, 58. Yeah, refurbished 5800X refurbished for 464 on Newegg. It's only one of them though, actually. Only one of them. The 5800X. Yeah, it doesn't even have it on Amazon anymore. Well, it does. It's just not listed though. And no feature offers available. Yeah, I think no, it's not even available on here yet though. And that's weird. It's not available on here anymore. Um, that's the weird thing about it though. I think it's a good processor. I love mine, but they got the 5700 X3D. That's just as good. They said as 5800 X3D is. Um, um, but I think it's just one of those things. That it's a good processor. 3 hertz. Mine I think 3.4. So a little slower than the 5800X3D, what I have. But that's being discontinued, and it's understandable because the AM4 is going out with the old, come with the new. Uh, um, I think people just need to accept the fact that not everybody's going to want to go out there and buy a latest and greatest, and I get it. Something people have to go do on their own. You have to buy it on your own. I think if you want to go buy a graphics card, you can. Process you can. But guys, we're getting to the last bit of news. My processors, nonetheless, AMD and Intel have both had blundered, both have good things. The 1200 series of the 12th gen of the Intel is good. 5800X is still the best thing I ever had. 5800X is good. 7800X 3D is probably the powerhouse champion to really get on, and even go to AM5. Got AM4, 5700X 3D. You can't buy 5800X anywhere. 3Ds unless you buy refurbished. And I'll stay away from those to make sure. Um, but yeah, that that is it. Now on to the last bit of news this year. Two YouTubers have pretty much destroyed themselves. First up, and without further ado, is Boogie 298. His career ended pretty much last year. I watched a documentary about it. The rise and fall of Boogie 298, and it's a good documentary. Mike Clum has created it. It's a very good documentary. Very sad though, think about it though, but a very good documentary in the sense that it was telling a story of Boogie, but in a kind of weird light. It was kind of oversaturating the good and hiding the bad, or oversaturating the bad and hiding the good. Just depend who you are. Okay, who you are. So that being said, though, I think it's a good watch to go watch that video. No, I know, I'm not affiliated with those two. I'm not affiliated with any of them. No, I'm not on board with any of them. Politically or spiritually, whatever. But I think his YouTuber is probably his documentary is a good documentary of what could happen, and even in life in general, if you let yourself go to excess. Boogie, uses self pity to gain millions of followers, but also his self pity was a catalyst to cause the downfall of his million subscribers. So it's kind of double-edged sword there, and I think that he needed to really understand that, and really get that, and really understand what he was trying to do. He went from being this guy who thought you cared about stuff to being this weirdo to being a more extreme weirdo to having a record to almost going with sex workers. Of course, a lot of people have that problem. A lot of people have that kind of problem. No, I'm not here to cast judgment on anyone, but he looks at the self-loathing as being a beacon of hope, and really what it is his own detriment. And also, that's what Boogie 298, and his count can recover if he just starts over again, starts anew, does new things, maybe go on, like a reality type of thing where he just talks about his life, so for can't talk about his life in front of the camera, and gets his demons out. Maybe he can become a positive outlet for a lot of people who are suffering from the issues he had when he was younger, and cope better with it than he did at first. That's my hope to Boogie, that he'll turn his career around and start making it more positive and something, not so damn negative all the time. But until that happens, he is floundering. He's still making more money than the other YouTuber. Rich, you take USA, has pretty much torpedoed his channel. This guy had a real hard time last 2 years, 3 years at least. His daughter was diagnosed with some disorders and issues, and it's real hard. His wife is pretty much, they're divorced now. I do believe he talked about it, but or getting divorced, separated now, whatever the case may be. And it's rough for him because it's really beating on him, And he just decided to end it all on his channel and just kill his channel. Well, I think it's kind of a hard thing to do. We don't have, we don't have a job really to go to and stuff, And I think that's kind of a hard thing to do. But this whole year has been kind of weird for YouTubers, especially with since Sniper Wolf having her issues last year, going a little bit this year, and now Boogie, and now Rich, and now VTech USA being pretty much, destroyed. It's kind of safe to say that YouTubers like that are kind of going away because these two guys have been there a lot longer than I have. They started decades ago, probably almost 20 years ago. In 2026 to be 20 years. YouTube started in 2006. 2026 to be 20 years that YouTube has been up and running, and no sense of it dying at all. So I think that if you look at things differently, the more they remain the same in certain aspects. But Rich is destruction of his own channel and self destruction, of his own life practically for all of us to see was pretty much the biggest one that happened in 2024 so far, in the YouTube gaming world. Yeah, Sniper Wolf and Trump's attempt assassinations were rough and very violent, and Riley being killed by illegal people being CEO being shot a couple days ago, of a medical company being killed. It's really is really rough year. But to me personally, in the gaming world, Rich and Boogies and Sniper Wolf, to me, top is the top number one. I call number one. That's why Rich YouTube USA leaving YouTube is the number one most weird thing I ever seen this year. I can't explain. Happened this summer. Yes, you can go in politics and saying Biden doing this, Trump winning this, this happened here, this happened there, person got killed, Riley got murdered, and very sad, and all really inspiring and sad stories. But to me, being a gaming channel and entertainment tech channel, Rich from ViewTech USA, pretty much saying, F you guys, I'm out of here, and just killing his channel completely is the number one thing in my mind that sticks with me until this day. That he has literally destroyed his own channel because of turmoil at home, turmoil on YouTube, his own fan turned against him, or maybe he may appear turn against himself up here. That totally went self-destruct. Now will he come back? Maybe, but he won't be the big YouTuber he was before. He might take him maybe a couple years to gain back that notoriety. But a lot of people are like, this rich guy's back again. He did he have a mental breakdown to turn off his channel. But I do worry about him because he has children that need him around. And Rich, and anybody else out there who's suffering mental illness, there's help out there for all of you, for all of us. Pick up the phone, call the number, go to a church, go to a friend's house, somebody you talk to and trust, and air your grievances. Talk about your problems, somebody you can trust. Not on YouTube or Facebook, because people will troll you and they'll beat you down. Because people are just mean out there. People are just mean because they got to be mean. They're miserable too, but they got to make you miserable because they make them feel better. So go out there and go to a church, go to a counselor somewhere at school if you're in school, college, whatever, or even a job counselor at work. There's help out there you can go get. you can get yourself back on track. We are focused on what's more important to you, your family, your friends, and your loved ones around you. The worst thing to be is to be alone on the holidays. I know a lot of people I know who are by themselves. They wait 2.5 hours to go in the crowd to sit down and have a meal around other people. Just sit there. They may talk a little bit with somebody next to them. I mean, they may talk at all, but they're around people. Then they go home back to their life of being by themselves. And then that's what people do. You know, and it's fine. A lot of people do that kind of stuff. A lot of people like being alone. Their families passed away, moved away. They don't talk to them much. Maybe it's some kind of turmoil happened, and like I don't want to talk to these people. That could have happened. And things happen all the time, man. So don't feel hatred. Don't feel negative. Don't feel anything at all. Just understand this. That I think as I close out this this year's review, and as we turn the page of 2024 to 2025 with the new president, new House, new Senate, whole new ideas coming to Washington, a whole new plan each states, and certain states have voted for people in and out of all other offices. Certain counties have got new people in, and old people left, maybe kicking and screaming, maybe voluntarily, whatever. But we all have something in this country to be thankful for. And in other parts of the world, if you're a monarch, if your monarchs have left and new monarchs come in, new parliaments, what do you want to call them, come in and go. Just hold your breath. It's okay. Get through it. You know, we got through 4 years of Biden, Harris. You can get through 4 years of Trump and Vance, and your country's respective political public leaders that you got elected for your houses and senates and prime minister and president kind of stuff. So, in closing, guys, this video is pretty long. As I said, it's gonna be a long video. 2024 has been a real weird year. We had a lot of ups and downs. We saw a guy. We saw a guy get shot in a year, win the presidency. We saw, Intel and AMD suffer financial blows because of their processors and graphics card issues. We see game companies like publishers, game companies like Helldivers 2 and many games like that have suffered almost crippling losses with their games. We see games like Battlefield 2042 that become a little engine could they come back to full strength or somewhat full strength. we've seen we've seen we've seen YouTubers be overnight sensations, and the old guard just wash away, and fade away. This whole year we've seen a lot of things, ups and downs. What I pray for next year is that the Lord above will bless all of us and keep all of us around the world. Keep us safe. And if we lose friends, lose family, or lose ourselves, that we will find ourselves eventually. Because I believe, and I believe no one lost, and I believe no one's lost forever. Everyone out there has a purpose in life. And with the graphics card issues, the processors, the Xbox, PlayStation, fiasco, the up in prices of all these games and graphics cards and processors are going in prices, and the economy being the forefront of why first few black president lost, BP lost, and a man who's been in there before won. When the country's up in turmoil, when people are just literally waiting to fight each other for everything, and people are being denied access to their grandkids because they voted for a certain person, not this person, and families are being torn apart because of political beliefs and all that nonsense. I think it's time for people for 2025 to stop what you're doing, shake your head, and think, why am I acting this way? Come together as one, be a family, sit down for Christmas dinner, have it, come back for New Year's Eve, Sing the New Year's theme anthem, and just drink your champagne or whatever you drink. Go to bed, wake up 2025, and realize what? It's a whole new day, whole new year. It's gonna be awesome. Okay. And if Christ comes back in 2025, guess what? Us believers will be gone. If we're left behind, then we know we did something that was not part of God's plan. But I believe that we are in the last days. I believe that we're approaching that way. So you can believe in God or not, whatever. That's cool. But all signs point something big is happening soon. In the tech world, we have AI running around practically, and we have AI generated faces now calling people. And nowadays we have AI taking over the world. I don't mean Skynet and Terminators, but it's pretty much close to it. Be safe out there. Keep your credit cards to yourself. Don't give up any scam. Don't give up any information to anybody. Don't do anything other than what you know. Me personally, I go to the store. I pay a certain way every time. And that's it. I don't give up my card to anybody. Number to nobody. Be safe this Christmas. Scalpers and scammers are out there trying to do what they can to take your money. Don't let them do that. Have a very safe, blessed Christmas. I won't see you guys. I'll do one more video, I do believe, next week. And after that, I'll be off. My sister's birthday on the 20th. I'll be off until January 4th. So that'll be the time I'll come back. And that's when I start back up my weekend roundup. Uh, I may do a review on stuff if I get stuff for Christmas as tech stuff. I'll get a review on it. If I don't, then it'll be mostly just, hey guys doing? Happy Merry Christmas, and do a quick video and I'll leave. I'm gonna travel to my sister Bernal's place for the 20th and Christmas. New Year's, I'm heading to the casino for New Year's bash, and I'll be back on the 4th. So I'm taking now after the last video on the 14th. Next Friday or Saturday, I'm doing a video. After that, I'll be off until the 4th of January. I'm gonna take at least about 2 weeks off just to relax and recoup my energy and do some stuff with family, hang out with family and friends for a while, then come back and do my routine as I usually do it with my, I'll take a vacation in February like I always do. Then I'll do my vacations as they go along, just like normal. But this is my big vacation. I'm taking off from YouTube. After the 14th, 13th, 14th, I won't be on for another 2 weeks. So I'll see you guys later. Be blessed. I'll see you guys next week. Be blessed. Be safe. God bless all you. Peace out.